You know the bow and arrow. You know Sherwood Forest. You know he steals from the rich and gives to the poor. But you probably don't know about the secret rewrites, near-death stunts, deleted dark magic scenes, and one version of Robin Hood that fought aliens. Behind the tights and legends, there's a cinematic history full of chaos, risk, and downright weirdness. So string your bow, grab your hood, and prepare for target practice. Because here are Robin Hood's weirdest movie secrets exposed. In Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991, Kevin Costner plays one of the most famously English heroes in folklore. And yet, he sounds like he just walked off a California beach.
You know, for an infidel, you have uncommon clarity of thinking. Yet you tell me nothing of yourself.
Why? He did start the film using a British accent, but after a few days of filming, he dropped it, without warning. Director Kevin Reynolds and the producers asked him to bring it back. His response? "This is my Robin Hood. Deal with it." The result? A strange mashup of American grit in a medieval English tale. And a lot of confused moviegoers. You think Prince of Thieves was intense? You haven't seen the original cut. Before it was trimmed for a PG-13 audience, the film featured a much darker version of Alan Rickman's Sheriff of Nottingham. We're talking black magic, satanic rituals, and demonic summoning circles. Entire scenes showed him consulting witches, drawing symbols in blood, and performing sacrifices. Test audiences were horrified. The studio panicked and cut nearly 15 minutes of footage before release. The full unrated cut exists, but only on rare DVDs and bootlegs. It's Robin Hood meets The Exorcist. That surprise cameo of King Richard at the end of Prince of Thieves? That's Sean Connery. He appears for less than 2 minutes, says one line, and collected $250,000 for it. Here's the classy part. He only agreed to do the role if his entire paycheck went to charity. He showed up, filmed one take, said, "I pronounce you man and wife," and left before lunch. $125,000 per sentence. That's what we call royal rates. Alan Rickman didn't just play the Sheriff of Nottingham, he rewrote him. Rickman thought the original script was flat and boring, so he secretly hired 2 screenwriters from the London theater scene to help punch it up without the director's knowledge. The result? "I'll cut your heart out with a spoon." Improvised tantrums. Insane, chaotic energy that stole the show. Rickman's version was so over the top, so bizarre, and so brilliant that critics praised him even when they hated the rest of the movie. Remember the scene where an arrow flies straight toward the camera, soaring through the forest in slow motion? That wasn't CGI. It was created using a custom-built camera rig, nicknamed the Arrow Cam. The production team built a 100-foot-long rail system and attached a high-speed camera to ride behind a real arrow at 300 frames per second. It was the first time this kind of shot had ever been attempted. The sequence was so impressive, it's been copied in video games and films ever since. You weren't watching an effect. You were watching a bullet time revolution before The Matrix made it cool. This one's real and really weird. In 1952, Columbia Pictures released Robin Hood and the Sorcerer, a low-budget black and white film that starts like normal until Robin finds a magical amulet from the stars. Suddenly, he's fighting alien wizards in the middle of medieval England. The aliens looked like tinfoil zombies. The effects were smoke machines and blinking lights, and the script made 0 sense. It flopped so badly, Columbia canceled all future sequels. Today, it's a B-movie cult gem. So yes, Robin Hood once fought extraterrestrials. The 1973 Robin Hood, you know, the one with the fox, is a childhood favorite. But you might not know. Most of its animation was recycled. Due to budget issues and time pressure, Disney reused entire animation sequences from earlier films like The Jungle Book and Snow White. Look closely. Maid Marian's dance? Same as Snow White's. Little John? Just Baloo with a new hat. Even the waltzing animals were lifted from the Aristocats. It was cost-cutting at its finest, and fans didn't even notice for decades. In 1990, Japan released a full-length anime series, Robin Hood no Daibuken, The Great Adventures of Robin Hood. In this version, Robin uses twin swords. There's a talking falcon. The merry men look like Final Fantasy characters, and Nottingham has steampunk cannons. The show mixes medieval England with anime drama, Japanese folklore, and mid-battle musical numbers. It aired in Europe too, gaining a cult following in Germany, Italy, and France. It's not historically accurate, but it's epically weird. The 2018 reboot of Robin Hood, starring Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx, tried something bold, and it blew up in their faces. The movie featured tactical bow fights that looked like machine gun shootouts, a training montage with literal explosions, and Nottingham as a grim dystopian police state. Costumes looked more like the Hunger Games than medieval armor. Critics destroyed it. Audiences were confused. It lost over $80 million and is now a textbook case of style over substance. At least it looked cool. Sort of. That's right. The very first Robin Hood movie was made in 1908, and it wasn't filmed in England. It was shot in New Jersey. It was silent, black and white, and lasted only 13 minutes. Robin wore a felt hat and had a waxed mustache that could rival Hercule Poirot. Since then, Robin Hood has been portrayed by animals, teenagers, robots, and even Mel Brooks in tights. With over 70 films and series across 100 years, Robin Hood may be the most reimagined character in movie history. One outlaw, infinite versions. From lost occult scenes to space-fighting Robin, weird rewrites to recycled foxes, Robin Hood's cinematic history is as legendary as the man himself. Which fact hit the bullseye for you? Drop it in the comments. And if you love diving into the weird side of film, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more cinematic deep dives. This is Real Truths, where movie legends get a reality check.